Now, a firm increase in the price of platinum group metals has helped Anglo American Platinum. The miner reporting a 28% increase in revenue for the first half of the year compared to a year ago. This comes amid a 56% spike in the dollar price of platinum group metals since the first half of 2020. Now, while revenue did rise, profits have, however, slipped in the first 6 months as COVID-19 hampered production. Headline earnings fell 7%, with operations temporarily shutting down due to a force majeure and efforts to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Now, the drop in profits does see the business lower its payout to investors while also carrying less cash. Amplats CEO Natasha Viljoen says does, however, expect to see a stronger production performance in the second half of the year. She did, however, caution that significant headwinds do still exist. Let's have a chat to Amplats CEO Natasha Viljoen now, who does join us via Zoom. Natasha, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. The former CEO, Chris Griffiths, unfortunately couldn't have given you a more hospital pass, if you want to call it that. COVID-19, unfortunately, ravaging through the company's reserves.
Good afternoon, Arabella. Yes, I think COVID-19 has definitely given us some interesting headwinds to deal with. I think we need to equally just acknowledge the fact that what my predecessor left me is a much simplified business with a very strong balance sheet and all the building blocks to really weather the storm.
Can you indeed weather the storm? Do you think that you will be fine the second quarter? You say you expect things to perhaps get a little bit better. Is that just from an operational point of view? Or do you see the price climbing even higher, particularly for platinum group metals?
Arabella, we're definitely expecting a better performance in H2 because we are starting to learn to operate within the framework of COVID. Firstly, I think secondly, yes, we do believe that the price will remain strong and that will support our performance in H2.
What about volumes then? I mean, how much more are you expecting in terms of volumes? Yes, of course, you'll probably make up the more than 500,000 tons that you, ounces that you lost, rather, should I say, in that first half of the year, particularly in the second quarter, really more than anything else. Do you expect there to be an even greater increase in production because you're going to try to make up for that time with even more production?
I don't think we will necessarily catch up on what we've lost from a mining production point of view, Arabella. We will catch up about 40% of the work in process that we've built due to the impact on ACP. But from a mine production, we do see our mining operations coming back to about 95% of normal production, where we achieved about 85% in the last couple of months.
How big an impact did the force majeure have on the business?
I think it had a big impact with, as I mentioned, work in process build of about 500,000 ounces. I think it is a temporary impact as we will see this work in progress work its way down into next year. So from an interim period of point of view, it definitely had an impact.
A lot of the resilience of the firm does come from a slightly more restructured firm, if you want to call it that, as well as a rise in platinum group metals, PGMs, especially platinum itself also now climbing to around $940 an ounce. Of course, palladium pretty much doing much of the same, having risen to around $2,000 an ounce as well not so long ago. Do you get a sense as well then that things are going to get even better from here? I mean, I know you're price takers more than anything else, but do you predict that, or do you expect the price to get a whole lot better, thus helping your revenue line as well?
I think it's important for us to see a resilient price to really underpin the sustainability of the business and making sure that our markets are sustainable from a price point of view. So we foresee the medium and longer term that we will have the strong foundations from a market point of view to sustain our business. We also see quite exciting opportunities as the markets for our product develop, specifically as far as clean air legislation is concerned, where we see opportunities both from a loading point of view, from your typical internal combustion engine, air quality control point of view, but also more exciting from electrical vehicle, hybrid vehicles, and also the hydrogen economy. So I think between strong operational performance and then the strong foundation from a pricing and market point of view.
Yeah. All right, very quickly, you no longer need to restructure then. Is that also the sentiment from here on? That's despite the effects of the force majeure and COVID-19. You're still good to go at this point? You don't need to restructure things, job losses and the like?
I think, Arabelle, the future always remains uncertain. We're in the fortunate position at this stage that we've been able to pay the salaries of all our employees, also the employees who we have not recalled back to work because of the fact that they're vulnerable. And we will continue to review our position on a monthly basis as we go forward.
Natasha Viljoen, appreciate your time this afternoon. All the best as well for the second half of the year. We'll hopefully get in touch as well with you and we can take a look at the full spectrum of results then coming through from Anglo American Platinum. The CEO there joining us via Zoom, Natasha Viljoen. Thank you so much for your time.